Join us at Denver Community Media every fall for Harvest Your Creativity, a month-long celebration where we offer free, hands-on media workshops and events designed to help you learn new skills, meet other creatives, and just hit record. Hi, and welcome to DCM's Pocket Production Workshop. My name is Megan Lowry. I am one of the helpers here at DCM, teaching classes, providing access to studios, tools, and knowledge. Thank you for attending, and let's get started. So, the topics that we're going to cover are tips before you press record, production basics, sound and lighting, and navigating CapCut. If you're in person, we can have a hands-on practice. This will be a class that is recurring. So if you'd like to come on in, we can have some hands-on practice with all the things that we're learning today. So before you start shooting, there are some things to keep in mind, just to make sure that you have the most successful time shooting with your phone, making sure you're fully prepared, and if you come into any snags, you can prevent that by preparing beforehand. So first, we want to charge our battery. Videos and weather mainly kill the battery faster than if you were if you're just taking photos with your phone. So you want to make sure that you're fully charged before you go out to shoot, or make sure you have an external power bank. You could also plug your phone into the charger while you are recording, if you're just recording at home. Make sure any accessories that you have, any ring lights, any microphones, anything that you have to enhance your production, which we'll talk about a little bit later, make sure all of those are charged as well. Next, you want to check your storage. So higher resolution, say you're putting your phone in 4K, use more storage. So you want to keep that in mind. Make sure that you have enough space. And make sure that if you have a lot of pictures and videos already on your phone, you might want to get rid of them or put them on another device so you have enough room. And so it doesn't stop recording in the middle of your video. 3 to 5 gigabytes on your phone will be fine for HD footage. And then you want to think about your resolution and your frame rate as well. The higher the resolution and frame rate, that is going to take up more space as well. And finally, you want to clean your lens. A lot of people don't realize until it's too late that there's a speck on their lens, and then that completely takes over the integrity of your shot. You also want to consider where your footage is going to go. Is it going to go on TikTok, Instagram? Is it going to go on YouTube? That will affect the orientation that you want to hold your phone, whether it's landscape or portrait. This will also affect your aspect ratio. A lot of times, if you are shooting in portrait mode, which is when you have your phone this way, if you're trying to convert that to YouTube, it's going to have, the sides of it are going to be black, or maybe you want to superimpose another video behind it or put a color behind it. So that's going to look a little wonky if you're going to YouTube. So it's always better to shoot horizontally, landscape, so you can convert that easily to different programs and different platforms. But ultimately, you want to think about where it's going to go. If it's going to go to YouTube, you'd obviously shoot horizontally, landscape. If it's going to go to any other platform, so mainly social media, then you can get away with the portrait mode. But ultimately, landscape does give you more flexibility. Also, silence your phone. If you get a phone call during your video is going to stop. So a lot of times it's great to put your phone in airplane mode, so no texts, no phone calls will come through, and you won't be interrupted or your video stopped, because that really can be annoying. If your video stops, you might have to start all over. You might have to snip something together and it won't look as cohesive. So just make sure you silence your phone. You also don't want any, text tones or ringtones going off in the middle of your production. Remember that it's a phone, so not a camera, so these things can happen. And lastly, you want to know your rights. So, a lot of times people don't really know what their rights are when they go out to shoot something. If you're in a public space, there's no expectation of privacy. So you're free to shoot anything, anyone. Of course, be mindful of getting in people's personal space. And a lot of people don't really want to be photographed or, in the background of your video. So it's always nice to ask people if they feel comfortable so you don't cause any problems, but it's fully legal to shoot in public and to post that content. So it's not a crime if someone comes up to you and says that you're violating their rights. That is not true. It is not a crime to shoot in public. Also, people can never make you delete any footage. You might be asked to leave a private venue, like if you're in a mall or a store. You can be asked to leave or not film, but they cannot ask you to delete your content. That is yours. Those photos and videos that you take are your property. But if you go and publish some later because it is in a private spot, you might get in some legal trouble. They might sue you. Um, but no one can force you or seize your content. The most that could happen is maybe a civil suit if you go ahead and post that stuff that is in a private sector. So that's the basics of kind of what to know before you start. It's really important to research further your rights so you know and you're fully prepared with the facts of where you can film and where you cannot film or where you can be asked to leave. So next we'll get into production basics. So just kind of making your video a little more um, interesting, the basics of using your camera and other tools that you can use. So first is stabilizing your phone. We have tripods here at DCM that you can rent out that are specifically for your phone. I think that is the best option for you, just to make a stabilized and nicely shot video. Next, you can do handheld. A lot of people will shoot like this, which is totally fine. That's kind of accepted in our current society, especially on social media, to just hold your phone up. There are phone gimbals that you can use, which kind of really help to stabilize when you're walking or when you're in a public space. You can just hold it up. It'll make it really stable, way more stable than handheld, especially if you're moving around and walking around. It'll get rid of all those, most of the, bounciness, and you can smoothly pan while you have a gimbal. And last, if you don't have any of these options, you can use a flat surface as your tripod. You can just like post your phone up on, a bookshelf, a desk, anything you need. So that can act as a tripod if you're easily in a space that has that. And you want it to generally be eye level with you. So try to aim to have your tripod or your surface that you're laying your phone on at an eye level. Next, we are going to talk about a little bit about prepping your camera app. There are certain things that you can do to make sure that you know the focus is locked in on you and it looks as best, or whatever your subject you are filming, and it looks as best as it can. Oh, my bad. So in this photo, you can see that the focus is locked in on the cat's face. With most camera apps, you can just press the object that you want it to focus on. And if you see at the top, it says AE and AF lock. So that's great. So the exposure and the focus are locked. So you're not going to get any weird spikes in the exposure if you're turning your camera in different ways. And then also the focus is locked. So say somebody comes in the front of your camera or somebody's like messing around in the back, being a little flea to the camera, the focus will stay in one spot wherever you lock it in. So that shouldn't be an issue for you. Next, show, don't tell. So we're going to talk about the rule of thirds first. So in this picture, you can see that the bottom picture has your grid, and you can turn the grid on your camera to make sure that just to, make it easier for you to use the rule of thirds. This is kind of the most appealing to your eye. Of course, you can stand in the middle and you'll be the focus. But if you're really trying to get artistic, you can use the rule of thirds. That means that where these points intersect are where our eyes are naturally going in a photo or a video. So the top left intersection is where our eyes go first. So that's why, we're focusing on this animal and its eye first. And then any of the other points, if you have something in those points, that is where our eyes naturally go. So that's always a good starting area for just kind of getting a more creative shot than if the subject is right in the middle. Next, shot types. You want to think about getting creative with your shot types and not just, again, focusing on just the middle of your frame. So we have medium, wide, close ups, over the shoulders, creative shots, macro shots. So wide is obviously an establishing shot. It is the widest frame you can get. Medium is a little closer. Close up, obviously, is close ups on the details. Macro is something you have to use a special lens for. There are lenses specifically for cell phones that you can just pop on. A lot of them are mainly macro, which gets you like, the tiniest details and you can zoom in more than you could with a close up. There's a lot of fisheye ones and maybe like an ultra wide lens that you can get for your phone. That's a nice add on if you want to, get certain details within your footage. And then creative shots. Think about, I think a creative shot that's used a lot is like the fridge angle. If you put your phone in the fridge and you're opening it and looking in the fridge or grabbing something from the fridge, that's like a creative shot that you can add to enhance your production. Next, zoom with your feet. When you zoom in on your phone, you're losing a lot of pixels and the quality just goes down. So it's better just to zoom with your feet, go in, you bring the camera physically closer to whatever you are filming rather than zooming in because you'll lose a lot of quality again in your production. Be careful not to get too close to people. A lot of people don't like when you're not respecting their personal space, and it can cause, physical safety issues for you. Even if you're filming in public, don't get too close to people. A lot of people don't like that. And just like, get a variety of shots, get creative. Mixing it up can really keep things interesting for your viewers and just add a lot more quality to your video. Next, we're going to get into lighting and sound. So, working with your environment to get good audio and lighting for your video. A lot of times, if you're in your own home, you can manipulate the lighting very well. If you're out in the environment, it can be a little tougher. So, we're going to talk a little bit of that, starting with lighting tips. With that, you want to look at your environment. What are the light sources? If you're out in the sun, don't shoot with the sun behind you because you're going to look really dark and underexposed. Try to get the sun in front of you. If you're in your house, you can try 3-point lighting with lamps. Sunlight is, of course, like natural light is a really good source. So if you have a window, you can shoot in front of a window. That'll give you really balanced light. If there's cloud coverage, that's great. So the sun isn't going to be as harsh. And a ring light can be really great. So a ring light is something that you can hook onto your phone. You can see in this image, she's using a ring light with her phone set up. So it's giving her a nice balanced and lit face. This can be an awesome add-on and it's super portable, which is also great. So you can take it outside, you can take it to different rooms. And it's really just an easy add-on, easy and cheap add-on to make just your content look a little better. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about sound. So, sound is really important. Listen to your environment. If you're in a place where there's a lot of construction or there's a lot of traffic, maybe you want to move your location. Kind of turn off any distracting noises if you can. And if you can't do any of that, give the viewers a little context about what they're hearing. Oftentimes, you'll hear people say, my neighbor's doing yard work. I can't get away from that sound. So sorry if you hear that. That goes a long way. So someone's not like wondering and distracted about a background noise. Also, if you're reporting on something and there's noise that is associated with that, that also gives great context to what you are focusing on. Here at DCM, we have Rode Go mics. You'll often see it's like the block that people will clip onto themselves that kind of gives you better audio. You can clip in a lav to make it a little less obvious, but that's a really great portable device that you can either hook up to your camera or hook up directly to your phone. So that'll give you a lot better audio than just using your phone audio. And lastly, going back to lighting, I forgot a point that cameras have very small sensors, so lighting is super important. It's great to have those add-ons or just, focus on getting natural light, which is going to look really good. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about navigating CapCut. So CapCut is a popular app that people are using. It's mainly associated with TikTok. It's integrated with TikTok, so that's how it gained its popularity. Um, there are a whole bunch of apps that you can use on your phone, but mainly we're gonna, talk about getting familiar with the tools in CapCut. So when you open CapCut, the image on the left is kind of the interface that you are shown. So projects will appear. You can save all of your projects. You can go back to them, edit them later. They will always be saved in your little projects area. But if you click new project, it's going to ask you to give the app permission to access those videos and pictures that you have. You can also use templates. You can see at the bottom, um, you know, menu that you can use templates just to make it easier. You can plug and play, put in different videos into the template, and it will just kind of make it for you. There's a whole bunch of filters in those templates. So it's really easy to create something using those. But if you want to do it manually, you add whatever video that you want to edit. The middle picture is is a video where I'm in the studio. I can clip it here, I can trim it down to whatever I want. And then we go ahead and hit the little check mark, and we are prompted with the image all the way on the right. So here you can also trim it, so you don't have to worry about if you trim too much or if you didn't trim it in the initial um, area where it asks you what you want to trim. You can also add more videos to this. It doesn't just have to be one video. You can link other videos to this. By just adding it to our timeline. At the bottom, we have this kind of menu where you can do different things to edit your actual footage, add audio, add text, add effects, add captions. So let's take a closer look into that menu. So again, at the top, this is kind of the menu that you are prompted with. And then starting from the left to the right, these are the different filters that you can add. You can add a blur, you can add flickers, you can add kind of these pre-built effects just to make your content a little, just to enhance it and make it a little more fun, honestly. Um, Going to the next image, we have color correction. You can, again, add blur, you can fix your color, and you can just balance your image a little bit better. Going to the bottom, with sounds, a lot of popular TikTok sounds you can add, which is the first button. You can add those TikTok sounds, the TikTok music. Again, this is optimized for TikTok. You can obviously put it in different areas, but that's why they have those TikTok sounds. You can add branded music. You can add your own copywritten music. You can add FX sounds, sound effects. Um, and that is all the kind of down there, that menu is all of the things that you can add with sound. And then moving to our last image, you can generate captions, which can really help with the accessibility of your content. If you add captions, people can just read things. That's different than text, however. You can add text to pop up in different areas of your video. And a lot of people like to do that as well. Captions will just kind of gather all of your video and give it captions to make it more accessible. But there are a number of different ways that you can enhance your video with different things within CapCut. So it's kind of just a plug and play. You want to go ahead and just try different things, see what you like, see what you don't like, use a template. Um, If it's kind of a creative video that's going to social media, these can really just easily add things that if you were to edit this in a program like DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro, this would be a little more difficult and take more work. So these are just easy ways to quickly edit a video, which is great. Again, we talked a little bit about thinking about where your content's going to go. So in this leftmost photo, you can see that it can change your aspect ratio to go to certain places. It has built-in TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, so it will optimize things for YouTube Shorts, you just posting a YouTube video, TikTok and Instagram. It has those aspect ratios already built in, so you can easily just click the button and it will change it to that aspect. You can download different versions to go in different places, of course, which is really great. Or just like, depending on how you want it to look, you can just come up with your own aspect ratio and export it from there. Next, when you go to export, these are kind of the middle picture is the default frame rate and resolution. 1080p is going to go everywhere. 2K and 4K are phones and TVs and computers. That's kind of a waste to download it in those. Most will play 1080p just fine. Most won't play 4K. They'll just convert it to 1080p anyway. So I would stick with 1080p again to help with your storage. If you're exporting something as 4K, it's going to be a way bigger file. And that's, again, going to download to your phone. So you want to think about that because it's going to take up more storage if you're exporting something in 4K. Next, the frame rate default at 30, which is fine. That's gonna, be fine for social media and, um, any other platforms that you want to put it to, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's gonna be just fine for that. So I would leave all of these details. The code rate is also whatever's recommended. So they are. You don't really have to do anything with this page. It's pretty already set up for you to export. So you can go ahead and just click export. And then you can see on the rightmost picture that it ended up in my projects bin. So I can go ahead and download it from there. I can go back and edit it if I need to, or I can start a brand new project. So that is all the basics of how to shoot with your phone, how to, kind of navigate CapCut. Again, there are a whole bunch of different programs that you can use. CapCut is the most popular right now and optimized to just make it as easy as possible. Remember your rights, remember your, basic things on how to set up your phone and make it easy for you to get a really good product at the end. And it's really easy to actually produce on your phone. If you don't have a camera, that shouldn't stop you. You can get different add-ons or just keep it basic. As long as you get creative, you should end up with a great project. Again, we have some resources at Denver Community Media, such as tripods. We have some lighting that you could check out. And we also have new mics, which conveniently plug right into your phone and can enhance your audio. So check us out. Come tour us. Come check out the equipment that we have and see what you can do to enhance your pocket production. Thanks for watching.